We had a few little techie issues initially starting off, but
And it was me.
and it wasn't Jeanette for a change. So and just still there's still people joining us in. So just give a couple of minutes, and I'm trying to now. I've added a pin to Helen and Jane as well. So just give a couple of more minutes. I see Rebecca. I see Sue. Okay, listen, guys. In the comments, let us know where you're watching in from. Are you a florist? You know what's going on. What's brought you here tonight? Yeah, let us know a little bit. Say hello to each other in the comments and get to know each other. So we obviously have the Queen Bees, the two fabulous ladies. I'll talk about them in a few minutes. I've been trying to get them onto a bloomin' Zoom for bloomin' feckin' ages. And eventually we've tied them down. So we're going to bleed them dry tonight and find out, get as much.
Huge expense we had to get.
Oh, huge expense. You no idea how much it costs us to get them in. But anyway, we reckon they're worth it. We're only joking. So let's get as many questions from our ask as many questions as we possibly can when we get started. Jeanette is here. She's going to be taking note of the questions that then when we do open the floor up, we'll have your questions there ready to answer or to ask. But before we do all that, I want to welcome Rebecca Kill and Sue Whale into the call. They have been working behind the scenes. They've been a little bit sneaky and we didn't know anything about what was going on. They have just launched greeting cards for florists. So Rebecca is an illustrator, artist, and she has been inspired by Sue's book and all the beautiful flowers and photographs in Sue's book and has turned them into greeting cards. So as part of tonight, they're actually giving away, I think it's 2 sets. Rebecca, unmute yourself there and let us know.
Yes, that's right. Sue and I will be giving away 2 sets a little bit later on, and we're gonna give you a question to answer, and the first 2 correct answers will win a whole pack of cards. But we're going to talk a little bit
Wow.
about it later on, I think. Is that right, Dave?
Excellent. Yeah, and Rebecca, do you want to share your screen there and just show us the
Cool.
cards? Get
Okie
a proper
dokie.
look at them.
Let's check it'll let me. I think it will. Okay, so we'll go over here. Put it on play. So hopefully you can all see that.
We can.
You can see that. So, yeah, Sue and I'll let her come in and tell you a little bit about how Orca Flora happened in a minute. But we've been working hard on this since last summer, end of last summer. And so I am a florist, floral designer, floristry student, and I also have a background in art, illustration, and I was an art lecturer for about 30 years. I'm a career change into floristry, I guess.
Amazing. Oh, the
And
cards look beautiful. Are they blank on the inside, Rebecca, or are
they
they just
are. They
okay?
are. They're blank on the inside. So they can be used for anything. So obviously, I mean, generally what's been happening so far anyway, is people have been wanting to buy a pack of 4 because, and this is our spring pack as well. So we'll be doing a summer one, an autumn one, and we'll be doing a Christmas one. And then we're also hoping to do other products. We literally only launched this end of last week. So it's very, very,
Amazing.
but a lot of people.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of people have been buying the packs rather than and wanting the set. And there's people who, and they come in a really cute all type, like
Oh, gorgeous.
cute and tied up.
Fabulous.
They're quite, I should put my blur off, shouldn't I? So they're quite dinky. Um, but let me unblur my background so you can see them a little bit better. So they come in a little pack like this with
Very pretty.
and everything.
Gorgeous.
And we're also offering a trade discount as well.
Okay,
Let me
so
just
anyone that is a
quickly
flower
share.
shop that wants to sell them,
Yeah, if there's anyone in shops who want to sell them, they can contact me. Just going to share again. If you just want to buy a pack, this is my website, Rebecca Loves Flowers, and you'll find them there individually. And I've put on all different postages as well. So we can post to Ireland, we can post to Europe, America, UK as well. And that these
Ooh.
are packs of 4 a 9.99 and then individually 2.99. But like I said, pretty much all of the sales so far have been
Have been a pack. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us, what's the giveaway? What's the prize? What's the question?
Well, so Sue and I, when we're collaborating, are called Orca Flora.
Yeah.
The first two people in the chat who can work out why we're called Orca Flora win a free pack, and it'll be
Oh
posted
wow.
to
Okay,
you.
Jeanette, that's up to you. And well, guys, use Sue if you can check the chat and see. Actually, do you know what? Use two pick the winners. Okay, Jeanette's not going to pick the winners. Use two because you know the answer to the questions. So
Yeah,
you two pick the winners. So we remind me at the end of this thing to come back to
sure,
you and
sure.
get our two winners coming in. But absolutely delighted. Congratulations, Rebecca and Sue. A
Thank
great
you.
incentive, and I wish you both the very best of luck in your new business together.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having us here as well. It's
Not
brilliant
at
to
all.
see
Oh, there's
everyone
somebody
here.
watching in from New Zealand. Will you post them to New Zealand? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be quite expensive, but yeah.
Probably dearer than the cards. Anyway, so listen, I think we have.
Cards are getting huge responses. Like lots of people are saying they're so pretty. They're loving the orchid one, the yellow one.
Oh,
Lots of comments there about the cards.
Super.
And
oh,
loads of answers coming in.
And loads of answers. Well,
brilliant.
soon
Loads of
Rebecca can
answers,
decide on
and
that.
most of them are warm, but nobody's hot yet. Not red hot.
Okay.
Close, close.
Keep going, keep going, keep answering those questions. And just before we start, and we do get the two queens in, I just want to ask everybody to mute themselves. It saves distraction. Work away in the chat and ask as many questions as you like in the chat, and we will come back to them. Jeanette's going to come in throughout the presentation tonight and give us the questions. And I know Helen and Jane are going to give us loads and loads and loads of gold dust information. Just a little introduction for Helen and Jane. They're not sisters. We thought they were sisters like us. This is why we thought they were like us. But they're not. They're best friends for 35 years. So they're nearly like sisters. And they set up Queen Bees because I suppose they really wanted to focus on one niche industry, and floristry being that niche. And they wanted to make things easy because there's lots of content creators and educators out there that give you loads of jargon. And you're like, what do they mean by that? And what do they mean? And I know people that have done courses with the girls, and the feedback has been amazing. They've been working with the British Florist Association for the last couple of years. They've done in the hubs, and they've done like the little one-to-one chats at Florex, and they get great feedback because they give practical, honest, easy, gobshite information. You know, they make it as simple as you possibly, down to earth. So Helen and Jay, you are most welcome to our Bloom and Zoom this month. Before we even get into it, just tell us a little bit about how it all came about, the Queen Bees.
The Queen Bees. So, like you said, we've been friends for a very long time, and I think I can even remember now chatting like at our sleepovers about our future business ideas. And we figured it out after university. Actually, we should probably stick to what we know, which was definitely marketing. So after babies, we decided to set up our own business, and we did the marketing. And then, yeah, really quickly seemed to find a niche in floristry. We were working with a couple of florists. We got, obviously, like you said, that working with the British Florist Association, there just seemed to be a little niche there. And there wasn't really a lot of people that were talking to that market. But most importantly, we're sort of making it with like real tangible examples. That's the thing. I think a lot of people talk about it in general. And for us, it's really important to translate that to, okay, well, what does that mean for me? And that was sort of something we were really keen to sort of try and demystify a little bit, I suppose.
yeah. And we just, as we got to know more and more florists as well, it just felt like such a lovely industry for us to work in. We started to make some great contacts and listen to what people were asking for. And our business has just evolved over the last, 11
But you're
years.
not florists.
We are not florists.
We are not florists.
Although, you know,
wannabe florists.
Oh, do you want to do a course?
I did a city in guilds, if that counts.
Absolutely.
no, I am not a florist at all. So yeah, I mean, our background's marketing. My background's always been in marketing. Jane's sort of marketing and advertising. We've worked in agencies. We've worked in-house. And I think what we realised when we set up by ourselves is that, you know, independent businesses, small but mighty businesses, they can't afford the agency fees, and actually probably can't afford, some can afford to outsource, some can't, so they needed to know how to do it for themselves. So I think that's what we set out to do, really, is to try and help people help themselves with their marketing, rather than, like I say, having to think about some money for the agency fees that we used to, or the companies we work for used to charge for marketing advice.
And I think for florists, and particularly like independent florists, I think it takes you so long to see the results. It's very hard to put that money into the investment of paying somebody to do your social media, because it takes a while for the results to come in. It's not like just run an ad. So I think it's better, they prefer to put the education into themselves so that they know how to do it and spend the money on themselves. We know ourselves and look at, know better than ourselves on social media, and we work really hard on our social media, and florists work really hard on their social media, but it just doesn't always turn into sales. Why? Like, why is that? Like, you see people that have big followings or put up amazing content, and it just doesn't turn into sales. What are we doing wrong?
Well, it's something that we hear all the time, that people are posting regularly, have stunning looking posts, they're getting the likes and comments, but they don't always translate. You're absolutely right. It's really hard to try and turn that initial interest into action.
I suppose it's quite simple, really. I suppose social media is helping you to get the attention, but attention doesn't often, or is difficult to turn that attention into action off the platform itself, especially things like Instagram, where you can't, other than in stories, you can't add links and things like that. So it kind of keeps you in the platform, which is obviously what Instagram, for example, wants you to do. It wants you to stay on its platform. So it's a bit like, I guess, if you're, I don't know, flicking through a magazine, you might see a recipe that you love, or some fancy wallpaper that you like. Rebecca's killing me with that wallpaper. And you kind of think, that's nice, and you might turn over the page and think, well,
I must cook that next week.
You come back to that, and I'll look at that, and then you keep looking through your magazine, and you forget, and you never make that beef Wellington recipe. So, it's like that's the same with social media. I think the moment disappears quite quickly. You scroll on, you forget quite quickly. And very often you're not ready to buy in that exact moment. You might be scrolling at 11 p.m. at night, really.
But the thing
3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, the answer to that, though, is I think very often the knee-jerk reaction is to do more social. Right, I'll do some more reels, I'll get some more stories out there, do some more content, but the bit that's missing is that connection. And for us, this is where email comes in. It's kind of creating a bit of a joined up journey.
Yeah, so, I get that. So what role, which is more important, your email campaign or your social media campaign?
There isn't an either or. I think the purpose here is, we know that everybody's, most of you are going to be on social media, and you started off this conversation saying, oh, we won't outsource to social media. There is more than social media out there, and I would always talking about not putting all your eggs in one basket. So it's almost like seeing social media as your shop window. So it's the part of the customer journey that's kind of doing the ta-da type of stuff. And then email is almost like the conversation that happens in somebody walks inside your shop, for example.
So you're not replacing your social media with email marketing?
No. We're saying so social helps people discover you, and then email comes in and helps them kind of remember you, to start to trust you, buy from you a lot easier. And in the case of email, people have signed up, so they've requested to hear from you. They're warm to you already, and you can open an email at any point. I mean, I've seen stuff on social, as you all probably have, and you think, oh, what was that thing? And you can't find it again. And so with email as well, you can open it any time you're ready to have a look at that email,
including 3 a.m. if you want to.
So the two work together.
Absolutely. And the other thing as well is, I know for me, candle companies and makeup companies, they're all in my emails. But when I go to, last week I needed foundation, and I immediately went in and Googled So Sue, and all her emails came up, and I knew exactly where to go, and I could see that there was an offer 2 weeks ago on foundation, and I could click in to see that the offer was finished. But you have that option. It's easier to search your emails than it is to try and scroll social.
Yeah, but handled really well. Like I say, the two of them can work brilliantly. They really, like Helen said, it's sort of one sort of saying we're over here, and the other one saying how can I help you? Let me actually get to the point of a sale.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought what we was just saying, we've got some slides. If we could, kind of show you what that journey might look like for a florist. If you're able to.
Oh, sorry, that's me. It's my job to share the screen. Bear with me, caller.
Just because it's sometimes easier to visualize it, you know, it's all right sort of talking through it, but actually sort of understanding the power of it. I thought it would be helpful to do a little demonstration. So we're going to meet Bob. Bob follows you on Instagram. Imagine that. And you might post something like an Instagram reel of a beautiful bouquet. And he might give that a lovely big fat like, and you get one of those really satisfying hearts. Your next post might be a carousel about some spring flowers, and he might hover over that, but interestingly, not really take any action. So you're not getting that comment, you're not necessarily getting that like, but he's seen it. You then might post a behind the scenes reel, and with this, he actually comments on this. Yay! And he gives it another like, which is brilliant. And then you might do a Mother's Day promotion, but he actually misses this entirely because, let's be honest, the algorithm isn't always in our favour. And then you might follow up with another promotional post, and you might see this, but you might not really have the time to go, say, to your stories or to your bio to go and find that link of the product that you saw. So, like Helen said with the magazine, this then becomes something on his mental load as opposed to something you can immediately act upon.
So this kind of timeline, I guess, here is probably what most people relate to when it comes to social. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this whatsoever. But the reality is, Bob may only see one or two of these posts. When you actually look at some of the stats, it says, if we look at Instagram, for example, there's about 6% of your followers will actually see any one of your single Instagram posts. So it's quite a small number, even of those that's specifically of who follows you as well. So 6% of who follows you might see that. So it's not great numbers, is it? So actually Bob's done quite well there to like and comment. Then obviously those posts just disappear into the scroll, or the algorithm moves on, that type of thing. So if we had a look at this, if we overlaid some email into this journey, so you put out the Instagram reel of the bouquet and they've given it that lovely like, but then Bob gets an email telling him about this week's bestsellers, and he sees that gorgeous bouquet again, and he's also introduced to the spring range, and everything has sort of easy clickable links, so he could at that point immediately get to your product. He might not, but he could. Then you've got your carousel that goes out, and that carousel might have featured perhaps like a little potted arrangement, perfect for spring. And he then receives an email that is talking about ideal gifts, maybe home refreshers, decor. But lo and behold, that bouquet that you saw right at the beginning is back again. And now also that potted arrangement is both featured in this email. And this time has a little early bird offer that sort of says, actually, if you buy now, exclusive to email subscribers, you can now buy those now and give an extra reason for him to actually do something about it. You then got your behind the scenes reel, and that is followed by another email. This is the one that he commented on, he liked because he saw a bit of the team. Now, he might get in this email a sort of a bit of an explanation about the importance of pre-orders, that slots are filling up, there's a bit of FOMO going on. But again, he sees the photo of your lovely team, and it reminds him of the local people that he is actually wanting to support. Mother's Day promotion kicks in. Yet again, another email following that with a 24-hour subscriber discount. He might miss this too because he might be on holiday, or he might have had a flurry of
But then he gets a follow-up email that's got just 6 hours left for your subscriber discount. So this time that FOMO of the sort of subject line is really catching his attention. And this time he clicks to buy now and secure the offer.
So basically what we're showing you here is that the person who, Bob in this case, discovered you doesn't just see that one post that you've done on Instagram. They're then following up with this kind of a reminder, an easy way to buy from you with these clickable links, more inspiration, a bit more choice, and in this case, a reason to come back to you because there's something in it for him specifically as a subscriber. He feels like really special, VIP, like on your email database. And suddenly your marketing isn't relying on that one moment on an Instagram feed. It's starting to build that relationship with Bob over time. He's hearing from you in different sort of ways, really.
I love it. I love it.
You love Bob.
I love how I actually would never have connected it that way. And in that sense, that what you're doing on your socials should also be happening in your emails.
Yeah, I mean, you probably will have heard of the adage of like, somebody needs to see something 7 times before they're actually spurred into action. Like Helen said at the beginning, there are lots of different marketing channels, but if you can imagine the power of this, of like seeing something and then seeing it again and then being reminded again, then, and doing that connection of that journey just means that you're slowly getting that exposure. It might take a few emails and a few posts, but we just believe by joining it up, you're getting much closer to that sales and relying on social.
So I suppose the question, and I can see it in the chat as well, how do we get Bob's email address?
Bob on Tinder.
Is he on Tinder?
Yeah. He's a good-looking seller, is that Bob? So to be honest, it's funny because we'll go on a little bit and talk about this, but you might already have Bob's email address in the back end of your website. So the number of florists that we've spoken to when we've come to talk to them about email marketing or they've taken the course or whatever that might be, we had one florist, in fact, who had 700 emails on the back of her website because over the years she had a tick box on her checkout that said, agreed to sign up for her marketing emails, that she'd never, ever set one up, never done it. It just was on her website. When she went to look, she had 700 emails just
wow.
Crazy, isn't it? But even if you've not got that and you're starting from absolute scratch, one of the things we would say is, and we'll talk through getting yourself on an email platform, but then you are able to put some forms and some sign-up things on your website. That would be the place to start. There's so many places you can go to. You can start collecting emails, and we've got a good resource on that. So we will send that out to everyone on the call afterwards, as well as a follow-up. I think it's like 35 ideas for places you can try and start to gather your email addresses of your customers. But
wow, amazing.
But yeah, so we'll send that around. But I think the first place you would start is making sure that on your website you have a number of different places, whether it's like an embedded sign-up form in your footer, as a tick box in checkout. That's where you would start collecting your emails. And then, like I say, there's so many in store, everything.
Yeah, and I suppose from as soon as you start selling bouquets or selling anything, you should start correctly and start doing it straight away, yeah?
Yeah, but you can start. I mean, like I say, if you've got none of the above and you've never started collecting emails, doesn't mean you can't start doing it and start taking a few simple steps. So getting something on your website would be step one. Thinking about some point of sale in the shop, a QR code where people can scan, and even if you're not really kind of techie and you don't know how to do a QR code, for example, even just simple pen and paper in your shop, just with a explanation of what people are signing up for and getting your customers to start putting down their details and agreeing to to sign up to your email list. You've just got to explain what's in it for them. So that whole adage of like, oh, do you want to sign up to my email? Do you want to sign up to receive my email? I'll be like, no, not particularly, but think about what's in it for them. So we have we have subscriber exclusive offers. We've got something really exciting coming out in the next few months. We send you all the seasonal stuff. We give you the workshop early access. So start to have a little think about what you're going to give your subscribers as a way to kind
Yeah,
of
great. And I suppose we're seeing it now, like even when you go into, I don't know, like Next or Bershka or whatever, they're now saying, well, I email you a receipt because, and it's the best, well, it's the best way to keep your receipt because you can never find it if you do have to change something. But obviously you're giving up your email address as well, and you're back on that.
you have to consent to give your marketing.
Yeah, I think the receipt method is actually a bit sneaky and actually irritates me because I kind of think I haven't actually said I want your marketing material. And I would always say with a florist is play it safe. Don't assume someone's bought from you that you can use that email address for marketing purposes. Absolutely.
Okay.
You might have the information commissioner's office knocking on your door.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
And that's why an email platform is particularly useful for that, because people have to physically subscribe in order to be on there, which means you have proof that that person signed up of their own accord on a particular day, and any email platform will keep a note of that.
And also, if any of you guys, I can only speak of Strelitzia because I know Strelitzia's platform quite well now, but if any of you are using Strelitzia, you've got that inbuilt into your ordering form on that system. So when you're filling in the customer's details, you put their email address, and then right underneath that it says, agree to sign up to the email database. So again, if you're using that, it's already inbuilt there, and you can start collecting emails via Strelitzia as well, and then just exporting them out and putting them into your email database.
Amazing. And how many emails are too many emails?
Yeah. You know what? I think a lot of people worry about this genuinely, the fear of being spam. And of course, there is a point at which there is potentially too many. But really, that answer is dependent on what you feel your audience wants to hear from you, and what you have the capacity to do. So, for example, as it comes to Mother's Day, Mother's Day is an interesting one. As it comes to Mother's Day, I might need several reminders, and I do not begrudge you reminding me on several occasions, and I'm actually grateful for the fact that you have reminded me. Therefore, I'm happy to receive one a week, and even maybe an extra 2 on the final countdown. I understand that I am that customer that needs that reminder. The reason I say Mother's Day is an interesting one, because that's also another time where you actually don't want to hear from you at all, which means that you can then consider things like opt-outs. But I think there is no magic number, and I think you've got to judge it with what have I got to say, what's interesting to my customer, and try and find that balance.
I think I get some emails from somebody that I get an email every day from them. Their email is brilliant. It has me laughing, and I love it, and I have no problem.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Extra day. So it, like Jane was saying, it obviously also depends on the content of that email. But our message, I suppose, is it's about kind of being consistent. So if you think to yourself, like, well, realistically, I probably could do one a fortnight or one a month, and that's probably about what my customer wants to hear from me. Don't overstretch yourself at that point. Do that, but stick to that. So your customers will start to expect to see an email from you. So I think it's better to do one a month than to do one and then them not hear from you for 3 months down the line. We all have breaks, and that's absolutely fine, and you can come back to it. But I very strongly suggest, in terms of not
having a baseline that you can be consistent on, and then ramping it up when you need to. Maybe that's occasion based, or maybe it's because you've got an event coming up and you want to issue reminders, that kind of thing.
So yeah,
I know, and it's a question that we get asked all the time around content for social media and what should I be posting. Is it, obviously I'm asking the question now, but I suppose it's there in front of me. Is it very different to what we post on social to what we send in an email, or would we always do like what Bob is doing here and try and follow?
Well, should we do your workshop? We've got another example.
Okay, come on. Yeah.
Kind of build a little bit into.
Yeah, because I think we have. Yeah, I think ultimately what we're trying to say is the social can kind of bring them in. Email's the sort of bit that tries to sort of make them stay. And actually, just briefly before we get into the workshops, the stat Helen mentioned before, where about 6% might see your Instagram, we find that with a open rate on florist emails, you can be near a 40-50% open rate. And they're people that want to hear from you, that have willingly said, here's my email address. So you sort of start to do that, the numbers are a lot more encouraging. And really the message is reaching far more people than your social alone. So if we're now going to introduce Roberta.
So we just wanted to do Roberta, from Robert to Roberta, not from Bob to Roberta. We just thought we'd do a slightly different version because...
Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm trying to do two. There we go.
There's Roberta. Just because obviously, like you say, if you've got a workshop, this might be an example of an approach you might take, really. So first of all, if you were just doing social, you would...
you clicked too far.
Clicked one too far. Ignore that. You might do a workshop announcement post on social. Then you would follow up with a reminder post on social again, a few days later, and then finish up with a post that said, "This is your last chance to sign up for our, Mother's Day workshop," and that's fine. There's nothing, like I say, wrong with that. And especially if you're doing some promotion over a short period of time, it's just worth thinking about the fact that, going back to those stats, a few posts that could be very easily missed if they weren't also followed up by something else supporting those posts, really. So if we then introduce how email can support that social, this time we might start on social, say on stories, or obviously you can do this in Facebook directly, but you could do a teaser, just sort of saying, get on our mailing list. We're going to be releasing a workshop. If you're on our mailing list, you're going to hear about it first. You're going to get a chance to book first. You're going to secure that seat, kind of early bird booking kind of thing. So you're starting to use your social to also grow your email list, which works really well. Then you would follow that up with an email that was early access for your subscribers.
So you're hearing this before anyone else. This is your chance to book the space before we tell anyone else.
Yeah. And then you would do your workshop announcement on Instagram. So it's open to everyone now. Then you would probably send an email to your subscribers saying, right, it's open to everyone now. So they are selling fast. This is your last, this is get in there now while you still can. Then you would have another reminder and a couple of reminders on email as well, with your last chance going out. And you can sort of, I've gone one step too far. You can kind of see there how they're all supporting each other, but you're treating your subscribers, you're giving your subscribers a little extra something early on, really.
That's actually really great advice. And especially, what are we, 2 weeks to Easter, guys? Anyone running Easter workshops, spring workshops? Now is your time to start doing exactly what you're saying here.
Yeah, I would definitely say, I think it's, you can't start too early. I think, the week before is too late. You build it up. And like Helen says, you can build it up with that anticipation. Something exciting is coming. Don't miss out on it. Be first to hear, even if you're not totally ready to share the venue, the date, but, build up some of that excitement about and make sure that you're the first person to know, and then you can warm them up. As soon as they're on the list, they've told you, I want to know about this, and they are literally your really, really warm leads. That hot leads.
Amazing. Guys, anybody that has any questions for the girls, make sure to keep putting them into the comments there now, because let's use and abuse them while they're here. Get as much as we can.
Well, we've also, if there's nothing popping up, we've also got like a little task, haven't we?
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was going to say what we could do, just if people want you, just join in, but it also gives you an opportunity to maybe share, and then you might want to ask some questions. But we sort of thought we could just go through, if we want to click but here, if anyone's got like a pen and paper, you could have a little think in this way, just to sort of try and get the sort of creative juices flowing, I suppose, in terms of trying to pull together, what we can talk about.
When you were saying, Deirdre, before about how you how you get social and email working together, and what you post on each platform. They're there to support each other. So this is what we're trying to get.
Brilliant. Yeah. Guys, take a photograph of this if you haven't got a pen and paper, that you have it to go back on as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, essentially it's 4 columns. This is how we would sort of suggest that you kind of think about it. And then sort of the first column is thinking about what's coming up for you. What have you got to talk about that's coming up for that, say, that month ahead? So it could be spring flowers. You've got a new collection live, or they're just starting to come in. It could be that you are attending a wedding venue open day and you want to remind people that's coming up. Could be that you've got Easter gifting, you've got loads of great cards, or sort of beautiful gifts that can also sort of accompany your beautiful bouquet. So these could be the kind of things that are coming up for you that you're kind of wanting to let people know about. The second column is thinking about what your ideal customer, what's coming up for them, because it's really important to not always just tell people what you want to say, but is actually tell them what they want to hear. Very much sunshine, finally I can get outside and I'm feeling all spring-like. It could be that they are in the throes of wedding planning. Maybe their friends have got hen dos coming up. That's kind of what's going on in their world. We've got Easter break coming up, so people might be thinking about getting away or thinking about hosting, thinking about the gifting, the Easter egg hunts. All those kind of things are going on in their world. So then it's about joining up and really thinking about where the two come together. It could be, for example, really pulling out the sunshine hues of the spring flowers. It could be about maybe giving them not only reminders about the venue, but some helpful sort of advice. It could be with the Easter gifting. It's sort of like thinking about, right, if you're planning ahead, if you're one of those Easter planners, here's some great things to think about in relation to Easter and your hosting and gifting plans. So you kind of start to think about, how do these two marry up in a way that's compelling for me to share? First of all, look, what does that look like on social? So that could be a really fun reel. I saw a brilliant one the other day where it was people acting almost like vampires. They'd come out of the shop and the sun was there and they didn't quite know how to react to it. Have a little bit of fun with it. And it relates to how the customers are also feeling, like, that joy of sunshine. Or in the example of the wedding one, it could be that you go, okay, we've got this great open day coming up, and here are 5 things that you should look for if you attend an open day. So something that's quite educational for them. It is a sort of a nice way of bringing in the fact that you're also going to be attending. It could be that it's a bit of behind the scenes, you're unboxing sort of Easter, oh, look at these, look at that, and subtly sort of feeding into that, oh, I was looking for a cute little bunny ornament, or that would be perfect for mom, that kind of, just sort of triggering those little moments. Inspiring them. So that might be what my social starts to look like, and I then would have a look at how that might look like on email. So for the sunshine one, it might be that you're delivering a ray of sunshine and that you're bringing in those bouquets, but you also have an opportunity to say, look at these flowers, look at these beautiful bouquets, and have you seen our latest reel? So it allows you to link back to your social too. If you were doing the open day reminder, here are the open day details. Here's the link to register if you want to attend. Oh, and we've also got this really helpful carousel of 5 things to look for. Easter, really similar. New products that have just landed, check them out. Oh, and if you want to have a look at our unboxing to see what's coming up, or it might be that we've got a bit of a blog of ideas. The point is, it all starts to come together as a bit of a thread. And I think if you can just think in these terms, these 4 columns, what have I got to say? What do they want to hear or for me to talk about? And therefore, how could that look in social and how could that look on email? But make sure that they're all of a thread, if that makes sense.
It's just trying to sort of, I think it helps when things are a little bit kind of cohesive, really. So it's not about trying to make things complicated and trying to do several different pieces of content. It's thinking about, like Jane says, what have I got and what my customers want to know, and then trying to get one content idea and how I'm thinking, okay, how can I do that on social, or how can I do that in email, rather than thinking about lots of different everything having to be different. And I think from a customer perspective, when you see something joined up, so like when Bob saw your little potted hyacinth arrangement on social, and then he
I
saw
thought it was daffodils.
daffodils, yeah, daffodils, and then he saw it again on email. You're just kind of making it all feel quite cohesive and less scattergun, I think.
And it's also easier for you because actually you're not writing from scratch every time. You know, if you're writing for your social, you're already in that zone. It's much easier to write that email. And similarly, writing that email, if that's where you prefer to start, makes it so much easier to sort of write that social.
I love this. I love this. I think this is such a great idea. I think it just simplifies exactly how to create the content or to, get content ideas. Sue is asking, what is the ideal length of an email?
Ooh, not long. I think people often, it's the same with blogs. We get the same thing where people feel intimidated by perhaps this potential length of an email and how much writing they have to do. But particularly with email, the goal is to get them off it. You don't actually want them hovering on your email. You want them on your website. You want them on their social watching the thing, or you want them downloading the PDF. You don't actually, so shorter the better. Just give them that really sort of little bit of a tease. And
spark a bit of curiosity enough that they click a link to go to the product page, to go to your blog, to go to the inquiry form. It's just enough to tease them. And we've got 4 there, but it says B's 3s. We love a B's 3s because I think 3 is, like, even from a design perspective, 3 is great, isn't it? But 3 from a marketing perspective keeps it simple. So on email, no more than 3 things in an email. And very often we'll do different types of emails, and we'll show florists how to do different types of emails, but we try and keep it to no more than 3, because who wants to read a really long email? Nobody's got time for that. And then, but also an email with one single thing on. So bestseller this week is literally my husband was ordering some flowers for his Auntie Barbara, whose birthday is on Wednesday, and he was looking and was like, oh, these are number 2 in the bestsellers. I'll just order that. He's sucker for, we're all the sucker for thinking, oh, well, if everybody else is buying it, it's going to be good, isn't it?
I also find it really, really easy for somebody, and if I think it's too much choice sometimes, it makes it harder.
Too much overwhelm, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. I agree totally. And it's funny because I sent an email out this week, and when I was looking for an email, I sent out an email this evening then for this, and I was looking for this email, and I clicked into the email I sent last week, and I started and I'm reading it, and I'm like, fantastic information, but Jesus, I was bored. I was scrolling. And I says, well, if I'm scrolling through it, so is other people. There was just way too much information. Even though as good as the information was, there was just way too much information in it.
You're setting yourself up there a little bit, I think. So if you won't want to do it again, you'll just be like, oh, do I have to do another one of those? So it's not motivating for you, but you're also potentially shutting off a customer who's like, oh, well, I haven't got time to read that email. I'm just going to scoot over it. So
Well, and the other thing is, even if you do put 3 or 4 things on, we'd always say, always start with the most important information first. Well, the first thing they read is what's most important for you to communicate. Because if they don't get any further than that, at least you've communicated that. And B, if you're using if it's landing in an email inbox that uses AI to summarize the email, AI tends to look at what's early on in your email and get to summarize from it as well. So that's something else. But it really does come down to just doing a little bit of planning, and we do talk about planning a lot when we're talking about
and
this.
That's coming into the question then. So I know you have an email course, a mini course sort of on emailing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so we have a bit of a 2-parter. We sort of break up into 2 parts for people that are on different stages of their email journey. So we have Seed to Send, which is the beginners. It is literally from the just getting started. We help walk you through how to get set up on Flowdesk, build your list, create those forms that Helen mentioned that can go on your website and be where they need to be to sort of capture that information. designing your very first email and having that confidence to press send. That's really what that one is all about.
Like literally right from like
a seed of an idea to send in your first email. I actually knew that when I wrote the note.
Love it. And I love, and we use Flowdesk as well, as you know, and I just think it's so user friendly. Like it really is gobshite system, because it's so easy.
We have worked with a number of email platforms, and this is just by far our go-to faith, particularly working in a creative industry like yourselves, where you want to not only be on brand and looking professional, but actually looking beautiful and inspirational too. I think that's really important.
I think there's all these gorgeous templates ready made for you. You don't even have to necessarily build an email from scratch. So that always makes it simple as well. So yeah, we love it, and all our clients
are on
it now.
But then there is a second course, which is for sort of next level, which is branching out.
So branching out it's just a follow on from that. So once you've kind of got yourself set up and you're sending your emails, the second mini course, in total, it's only 1 hour, 45 minutes of worth of actual teaching. But that one is about just helping you take things a step further. So we look at automations and workflows, which I know sounds a little bit jargony, but essentially what that is about, instead of you having to manually send emails, so like when somebody signs up to your mailing list, you can set up a number of emails to go out automatically. Like they could sign up at 1 a.m. in the morning and they receive a lovely welcome email from you, and then they've received another one a couple of days later. And it like once you've set it up, it's just brilliant.
I think it's amazing. I thought it's nearly like another employee that's doing that. And I actually just in the last couple of weeks have been going back into all them emails and just, rejigging them around. But for us, it's working constantly in the background. The funny thing is, it's like you get a reply to one of them, say, oh gosh, they've got that email, and that was maybe number 6 or number 7 in a flow to them.
It could be really powerful if you've got some common scenarios. So, there's the welcome. It could be that someone's downloaded your wedding brochure. That can then trigger some automation. And it can be really, really powerful way of you not having to lift too much of a finger in order to get some.
Yeah, I always say, go on.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's like that thing of when you sign up to receive somebody's email or sign up to a mailing list, you want to hear from that person straight away. You don't want to wait 3 weeks until they're ready to send an email out. You've lost interest by then, so you need to hit them with something straight away. So that is where that automation side comes into it. Plus we look at like fancy sign up forms that are brilliant, fun for your customer to do and incentivize them to sign up. And we look at analytics, and so you can learn what's working and what's perhaps not working so well. And
we sort of divided them into 2, because we know some people are already emailing. They may not be feeling super confident, but they are doing it. And so we felt like for those guys, it might be about, right, I'm ready to sort of do this a little bit slicker or a bit
smarter and use more of
I actually think that's really clever, because I know even for myself, I'd often look at courses. I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want to go on with somebody who literally doesn't know how to make a reel. I want to go that bit further. And then you have people that, what's a reel? And the same thing with the emails, like what's a flow? And Jane says they're analytics, and I immediately see 6 people dropping off the call when I'm joking. But
well, we do talk through some of the analytics, but then we tell you actually there's like there's like 30 different analytics, although Flowdesk does present them lovely and easy to understand. It's not like an awful Excel spreadsheet, but then we do basically say, really, you just need X, Y, Z, 3 things.
And I think also we try to bring it, this is the point of it, is we also try and bring it back to like, what does that mean for you as a florist? So it's not just here's the analytics, but it's actually like, right, what you could do with this information as a florist, not just as a theoretical business. So
and a question that's in, girls, is email still worth it even if your list is very small?
Yes, 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 because I think one, you can sort of start as you mean to go on, and but particularly as Helen said, it would almost be if you sign up to a florist and then you don't hear from them for months while you're building your list, but that person that was interested in you 3 months ago hasn't heard from you, you've missed an opportunity.
I mean,
to
and if you
convert
think
them.
about it, right? So let's think about just if you only have 5 email addresses, right? But if those 5 people walked into your shop and were like, "Well, I'm really interested. I'm kind of ready to buy from
You
you,"
wouldn't ignore them.
you'd be like, well impressed, wouldn't you? So it's the same kind of thing. If you
Yeah.
only have 5 people on your email address, there's still 5 people that could put
Yeah.
5 orders in, aren't they?
Mm.
You know, and so that the size of the list doesn't matter at all. Whether you've got 5 or 500.
I think the other
so
advantage
valuable.
is if you are smaller, is with the email platform like Flowdesk is sort of the cost per month changes by more people. So actually, with the smaller one, you're benefiting from the smaller price as well. So
It's up to
Okay.
1,000 subscribers now you get for their lowest price. So that's quite a decent. That's a lot of
decent
people, isn't it?
subscriber list.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like,
And it's
what was
funny you
it?
say that about the 5 people, because I remember being at a social media event and people saying about, oh, I only reached 100 people, or only 100 people saw my video. And they were like, if I put you into a room with 100 people, would you walk back out again?
Yeah. No,
And and you just need that one. And I definitely think for wedding florists, I can't imagine them having a big list because they're more niche, but they only need 1 or 2 bookings out of 12 bookings and they've won a month, yeah,
Over, I think, in the wedding industry, isn't it? So you've got a shorter amount of time to capture their attention, but that's not to say that that isn't really valuable. And you'll be bringing in new people all the time. So slightly different than your retail florist, who will have people on the list who will grow and hopefully love and trust and stay on that list. Wedding florists will experience probably a higher turnover of people on their list.
people unsubscribing when they're finished, or they
And
book their
that's
florist, so they'll unsubscribe from you.
and
And
that's
I
a
always say, like, people that don't, you send an email and you get unsubscribers, they're never going to be your customer anyway. So let them go. And particularly if you're on a platform that you're paying for a number of people. Another question that came in is, what works best, promotions or storytelling?
So I think there is a general rule, and this applies to all your marketing, to sort of go more 80% storytelling, 20% like sales. Sort of try not to be too, I've got this, and a bit more softer approach, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that the thing is, I think it's how you sell, isn't it? That's the thing. So, if somebody walked into your shop, you just wouldn't shove a bouquet under their nose and buy this.
Buy it.
Buy it now. That's just not. It's not how you would approach it. So it's exactly the same with any of your marketing. Just about how you kind of couch that sale, isn't it? So thinking back to our little 4-column thing before, you could say something like, that your customer
has been watching a lot of Bridgerton.
Watching a lot of Bridgerton, for example. So you could sort of say, well, I've been loving this Bridgerton on your email. I've been loving this Bridgerton series. How have you found it? I loved it so much. I went to the wholesalers and I bought these amazing Regency blue hydrangeas, and for this weekend only, they're available only this weekend. Just in case Anthony Bridgerton comes round for a coffee. So you're still selling those blue hydrangeas,
but in a way that's warmer and just more compelling and in tune, importantly, with what's going on with them.
Wow. Yeah. I love it.
There's nothing wrong with it, especially like you said with the workshop. There's nothing wrong with the sales, purely like this is the workshop and here's how to book. A little bit of a mix of different things.
Yeah, and I suppose with the workshop, testimonials from previous workshops is storytelling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what you'll get out of it. So it's not saying like I'm doing an Easter workshop, buy this. It's like, putting yourself in the shoes of your customer. How, it's an Easter wreath workshop. Wouldn't it be lovely to walk to your front door and be greeted after a bad day at work by this gorgeous Easter wreath?
Or like you say with the testimonial, someone saying, I just had such lovely quality time with mom, making this together, immediately, again, you're telling a story there about what you're going to enjoy too.
I love it, love it. You talked about Flowdesk, and obviously there's lots of other platforms that you can use. Do you have to have a platform? Do you have to subscribe to something like those to do email marketing, or can you just email from your email box?
Well, you've definitely got to have consent. So by having an email platform or a way for people to consent, then that makes it significantly you're less likely to get into trouble for that. And obviously what you get from an email platform is that way to build an email that looks beautiful,
that branded.
What you guys do is so visual. It's if you can imagine, if you worked in the steel industry and you're having to put emails out selling steel, I mean, that's just really kind of dry stuff, isn't it? But so you guys want to put photos of your products in those emails. You can't do that on Outlook in any way, shape that looks decent, so
it's sort of it's partly a professionalism, it's partly from a beauty aspect, but I think primarily just from a GDPR perspective,
it's important. It's important. The courses, the mini courses that you're doing, are they like, can you buy, is there a starting date and end date, or can you just buy into it at any time?
No, they are both live on our website anytime. The Branching Out just launched a couple of weeks ago, so that one is brand new. But they're both there to buy either or both together, depending on how you want to do it.
Oh, hang on. I have a landing page on my website for just setting it up as a still functioning. I have a landing page on for my website as my website's just setting it up. Will this still have the function to offer subscriptions? The landing page, I suppose.
Landing page.
She just has a landing page. She doesn't have a website at the moment. That's my understanding. Yeah.
So when you set up a form in your email platform, so whether it's MailChimp or Flowdesk or whatever, MailerLite, you set up a form. When you embed that form into your landing page. So
that can be a single page or a
So it gives you a bit of code. So there is a little bit of, like I say, we do talk through it. There is a little bit of code when you're having to embed things into your website, so that they're showing there as a nicely displayed form on your website. There is a bit of code that you have to do, but it's pretty simple.
And if you're with someone like Florist Pro or Florist websites,
Florist Window,
they'd probably do it for you, would they?
They'll do that for you. But it's not particularly complicated to pull that into.
It just depends how confident you feel playing with the code bit. Because I wouldn't. She would have a go.
Well, do you know what, Helen? I think it's the same here. Like, I would probably chance my arm. Jeanette, not a hope in hell.
You both have to bring skills, don't you? Different skills.
That's it. And that's why I say we get on so well, is because we do have completely different skills in running the business. Sue and Rebecca have announced the winners in the chat for the prize, for the gift cards. So if you're still on and you're in, pop into the chat. I can see there's more chat there. Is there any more messages, Jeanette?
That girl Jane is just saying she's with Bass House and she gets it. Thank you.
So Jane, the girl that asked that question, she understands it. There was something else I was going to ask you. Oh, your Instagram. I will obviously, when we send out the replay, I will send the links to the Queen Bees and their Instagram and their Facebook. And they also, because when you sign up for these Bloomin' Zooms, I will give the email list to the girls and they will then send you on. I'm sure they'll give you a Case Flower School offer off the courses won't you, girls?
Discount.
A discount.
We've got
KAYS.
some, yeah, we've got some resources and some bits and bobs in mind, and I've just written a few things down off the back of that. So yeah, we'll share that.
We'll share some
See, we don't ask, you don't guess.
That's
We always try and
amazing.
get something for nothing here at Case Flower School for our students and for our followers. So yeah, so the Queen Bees will be emailing you with those offers as well, and those sign-ups. I love the when you were talking about with the ideas. You said it there earlier on
Yeah,
about
so, the ideas to how to grow different ways to grow your
to
mailing
grow
list.
your email list. Yeah, because
yeah, we'll share that.
that's sort of one of the first things you really need to do, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. It's a constant, you know.
Well, the first thing is to start emailing, because you don't want
Starting.
people signing up if they're not getting anything. But yes, very quickly you then want to start growing it and making it a really meaningful platform. Because I would probably say, if I was going to leave you with this, like, let's say, for example, Instagram has a glitch, goes down, or Meta decides everybody needs to pay now, then what would you do?
Very possible.
You know, what would you do?
Are you
Emails. Yeah, email is where it's at. Build that up, get that going, and don't be afraid. 5 or 500, get going with it. For sure.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Girls, thank you so much for this evening. You've really answered a lot of questions, but you've also given us a lot of food for thought. And particularly for anybody that doesn't have Miranda's watching a great session from Details. Hi, Miranda. I did see Corinne had signed up as well. So Detail Software over in the States, they've been tuned in. What time is it there? God, it's probably in the afternoon.
I'll just say, for anybody at any point after this thinks, I wish I'd have asked that, or I just didn't want to ask that at the session, you know, drop us an email. We will obviously be emailing you, so you can reply to us, or drop us a DM. It's Jane and I. You know, it's just, you know, we're on our phones all the time. But please don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, look at Jeanette's
about the course. It can be anything, you know, Deirdre. We're always out there doing these things, so we're happy to help. We're happy to answer any questions. So yeah, we'd love to get to know you.
Yeah, and they are, and like I can 100% vouch for them. They absolutely are.
There's loads of thank yous coming in.
Oh, loads of thank yous coming in there. Everyone seemed to really enjoy it. So thanks a million. Next month we have actually 2 Blooming Zooms. We normally do one a month, but next month we have 2, and I'm waiting on confirmation from the second one. But one of them is going to be all about health and safety in a flower shop or in a flower business, not just a flower shop, a studio. We have a health and safety expert who is focusing in on the flower industry. So she's coming in next month. So that'll be, probably won't be as exciting as the likes of this, but then I love the whole this email marketing sort of thing. Well, that's true. Yeah, if somebody claims you
don't want that excitement.
Yeah, so it's to eliminate all the chances of claims and stuff like that before it actually happens. So that'll be an interesting one next month. I have the dates put in, but I can't remember what it was. Should have had it organized. I'll send it in the next email. The same thing, I will be sending out the replay of this Zoom in the next day or 2. So
and Bob's Tinder page.
Guys, thanks a million to everybody for joining in and for staying on the call. And the winners, congratulations to the 2 winners of the prizes. Sue, did you tell them how to get in contact with you? So get in contact with Sue or Rebecca, and that they'll get those prizes to you. Listen, love yous all. Have a lovely evening, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye, Helen and Jane. Thanks a million.
Bye.
Bye.